Welcome to Hearts and Stripes, your one-stop shop for all things military marriage. I hope our discussions and interviews equip you with the tools to start or grow a beautiful marriage as we address the benefits and challenges of marriage. I believe life's most precious moments are worth celebrating, so I'll help you design your marriage blueprint in alignment with your core values. Thank you for joining us, and remember to rate, subscribe, and review. Let's do this. Hello, and welcome to Hearts and Stripes podcast. This is your host, Bree Carroll, here with another Heart to Heart, and I hope that you are enjoying this marriage and leadership series as much as I am. So I am really excited to be wrapping up this installation of the marriage and leadership series. I'm hoping that we can come back and definitely have some more participants from Army and Coast Guard, but we're going to take a break for now. And I'm closing off this series by just sharing really where the series came from, right? And sharing some really exciting things that are happening in our military community that you may have missed out on, but it is not too late. So let's kick things off with this final wrap up for the marriage and leadership series. So the first thing that I wanted to note is that the marriage and leadership series came out of a question from the 2020 military marriage survey. So in the course of me doing research to find out really the lived experience for our service couples and how their marriages was being impacted because of their service life, we rolled out this survey. And if you are not new to Hearts and Stripes podcast, you have heard some of the findings in the survey, and I'll link the episode where we actually talk through that 2020 survey. One of the questions, though, asks if the service member or spouse feels like leadership values their military marriage. And that question is asked because it is perception, right? But it definitely makes a difference in how these couples show up for their relationship. If their leadership can impact their decision making as far as training and how they walk through this military journey, then their leadership can absolutely impact their military marriage. And I'm hoping that in a positive way, these impacts can really be focused so that we can strengthen our military marriages. And that is where the heart, if you will, behind this marriage and leadership series comes from. Because hearing from Chief Bass, from hearing from Mrs. Matrice, hearing from Mrs. Molly Raymond, like hearing your leadership, the people from on high, sharing their vulnerabilities, how it's challenging, their lessons learned. It really does make a difference. And thank you so much to everyone who has listened to those episodes. If you missed them, go back, listen in, but we have just heard so many great things come out of that. I've seen a lot of spouse clubs even sharing some of the episodes and the aha moments. I've seen a lot of people engaging and thanking the speakers for just sharing their heart on marriage and leadership. And it really is proof that this community needs to hear that from its leaders. And I'm excited because I actually had the opportunity to be a part of an initiative presented by Military OneSource that really got down to this. So in November of 2021, I had the opportunity to participate in a relationship summit that was put on by Military OneSource. It was the Relationship and Wellness Summit, a 2-day summit that had amazing impact on the community. And it really allowed our Armed Forces leadership to show how much they care about relationships. It offered opportunities for panels and keynotes and speakers to talk about different types of relationships. So not just marriage relationships, but parenting, single relationships, of course, marriages, and a lot of other things in between so that we could be well in our relationships. And I really want to give a huge thank you to Military OneSource for one, spearheading that, and then two, for allowing me to be a part of that conversation. So in that relationship and wellness summit, I am pleased to report that there were over 2,320 participants who engaged in the webinar throughout the course of the 2 days. And attendance varied on a live platform, but that's amazing. It had 23, or I should say between 23 and 336 participants across that varied in each of the 21 sessions. And I'm really glad that the session that I had the opportunity to host and moderate, our candid conversations others aren't having about military marriages, happened to have 89 participants in the session with us. So it was really great conversation. And right now, I want you to listen to the highlights from that summit.
The host for the first ever Relationship Wellness Summit, brought to you by Military OneSource and the Department of Defense. Oh my goodness, what a fantastic summit. Thank you to everyone who attended from our military community and all around the world. We had some amazing moments and fantastic speakers, including our keynote address from Mill spouse Corey Weathers.
Relationships are the bedrock to your success, to your personal well-being, because whether you're married or not, it makes a difference whether or not you have relationships around you. None of us are an island. We cannot do this by ourselves.
Wow, and the powerful talk continued throughout the summit with insights from more of our relationship experts.
Families encounter challenges. That's part of being in a family.
Right.
Military life exacerbates a lot of those challenges.
Gratitude. Gratitude is so important. When you're working through something, tell your partner what you appreciated about them.
I would suggest that you show a big interest in your child's online life and that you ask questions. Discuss what's okay and what's safe to post online and what isn't safe.
Sometimes when stress and anger get married, they have a baby called issues.
The way we think impacts the way we feel and the way that we then behave.
There were 20 sessions in all for every kind of military relationship. If you weren't able to join us, no worries. You can sign up to watch the sessions later. Go to militaryonesource.mil/read-the-we and sign up for our e-newsletter at the bottom of the page. We'll let you know when the sessions are posted. Thanks again for your interest in the first Relationship Wellness Summit made for the Mill life. Here's to your relationship wellness.
So opening up that summit was amazing. Again, a huge thank you to Military OneSource for having the insight and listening really to the community and the need for these types of conversations. As you heard over those 2 days, there were amazing sessions, and I hope you look at that link in the show notes to where you can watch the replays from the summit, right? So one of the presentations that I absolutely have to draw your attention to is the candid conversations others aren't having about military marriages. That is the session that I hosted, and I actually had the opportunity to have it opened up by none other than our Air Force Command spouse, Miss Shireen Brown. So I want you to take a listen to her opening speech, because I think it really is necessary to just hear straight from the top, right? Yet again, in this marriage and leadership series, hearing from our leaders, her heart as it relates to marriage and how it really does matter in the things that we do, that we need to be intentional about caring for our relationships. And I just love how she opened us up for that particular session. So here is Miss Shireen Brown.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Military OneSource Relationship Wellness Summit. I'm Shireen Brown, spouse of the 22nd Chief of Staff of the Air Force, General Charles Q. Brown, Jr. We know that good relationships are so important to our happiness. Here is a quote from author and researcher Brené Brown. A deep sense of love and belonging is an irreducible need of all men, women, and children. We are biologically, cognitively, physically, and spiritually wired to love, to be loved, and to belong. Research shows that good relationships help people live longer, deal with stress better, have healthier habits, and have stronger resistance to colds. If many of us were not already aware, we have learned even more impactfully over the last 18 to 24 months that connection is why we're here. We are all hardwired to connect with others. It's what gives us purpose and meaning to our lives. And without it, there's suffering, according to Brené Brown. Humans are social beings, and the quality of our relationships affect our mental, emotional, and physical health. Thank you for being here today and choosing to improve your relationships by investing this time in yourself. By being here, you have made the decision to strengthen your connections and build interpersonal skills. Developing strong relationship skills requires attention and actionable steps, and you've taken those steps today. Whether you are single, casually dating, married, or married with children, your relationship with yourself and others are critical to your overall wellness. These relationships impact your day-to-day life, work, and resilience. Healthy relationships can reduce stress, as can the social and emotional support from committed relationship or friendship. In other words, a strong connection with a caring partner can make all the difference in the military experience. Relationship challenges are experienced by everyone, and the military life can add another layer on seasoned couples and single service members looking to make lasting connections. The inspiration for today's summit was inspired by the success of the Re the We campaign. Hosted by the Military OneSource, this campaign was developed by a dedicated group of subject matter experts to help military couples rekindle, retool, and repair their relationships, or even reset in healthy ways when a relationship ends. Military Community and Family Policy is committed to helping service members and their spouses and significant others to recognize and seek help for relationship challenges. Today, you have the opportunity to hear from experts on romantic and parent-child relationships. You have the choice to attend any or all of the 3 tracks: reinvigorating your romantic relationships, strengthening your relationship with your child, or building relationship skills as a single service member. The adjustment period when a spouse returns from deployment can be hard on a marriage. According to the results from our 2019 active duty spouse survey, 3 out of 4 military spouses have experienced a deployment during their service member's career. Nearly 1 in 4 spouses describe the readjustment period as difficult. Did you know that 39% of mil spouses have sought help through counseling? This statistic was taken from the 2019 active duty spouse survey. Seeking help means you value yourself and your relationship. Just as you would see your primary care provided for your physical health, seeing a counselor is equally important. We must continue to encourage and seek help among military service members and families. So please share resources like those offered by the Family Service Center, Military OneSource, and the Military and Family Life Counseling, or the MFLAC program. Have those candid conversations about asking for help and share on your social media. By helping us spread the word, you can help renew relationships throughout the military community. We rise by lifting others. It takes time to learn how to open up to others so that healthy relationships can form, but it can be done. You can build secure, strong relationships at any time in your life. It's never too late to begin. My hope is that today's session will make a big difference in your relationships. and that you are empowered to bring your best self into your relationships. It's never too late to add a few tools to your toolbox.
So thank you, Mrs. Brown. I couldn't have said it any better. She really hit on some key areas that we need to be more intentional with when it comes to our relationships. And again, it is so reassuring to hear our leadership really care and take the time to address the importance of being marriage strong, right? That's what we're all about here at Hearts and Stripes podcast. And let me tell you, I want to stop right here and just say a shout out to an initiative that we actually have coming up to help you continue to stay marriage strong. And that is the military date night. You can head on over to www.militarymarriageday.com. We are actually presenting that military date night, and that is in partnership with Carol Kent, Pam Farrell, and we will also have the amazing Megan Brown, who is also a guest here on Hearts and Stripes podcast. We are coming together to give couples the opportunity to invest in their relationship just in time for Valentine's Day. So the military date night will be on February the 7th. You are definitely going to want to grab your couple's ticket. The donation is $5 for the couple's ticket. You get access to the replays of the military date night. And lean in, guys, because the best part is there will be tons of giveaways. I promise you, when you make this investment in your relationship, you will definitely get it back, because this is a giving group. Not only will we be giving away a lot of these best-selling authors' books on marriages. You know, I like to throw in a little something special for the couples too, especially because that's what Military Marriage Day is all about, and investing in your service relationship so that you can be marriage strong. And the military date night is just a fun way to do it and connect virtually from anywhere. So you are invited to the military date night. Make sure you head on over to militarymarriageday.com and get your couple's ticket now. So as we wrap up this installation of our marriage and leadership series, I really wanted to play this one clip, and this is actually from General Ray's retirement ceremony. And when I tell you, when I heard, I was there for the change of command as General Cotton was coming in, and to sit in the crowd and hear this statement that General Ray makes. I'm not going to spoil it, but it really pulled on my heartstrings. And it was one of the reasons that I really wanted to do this marriage and leadership series. So before I go any further into the clip, I want you to hear it. So here is General Ray giving some of his closing remarks at his change of command.
You have to give me a second here. I know it's just that much longer before I hand over the flag, but you're going to have to give me a second. You know, you've been through so much, sweet, and all the moves and all the shifts and all the challenges. Man, I look forward to the next chapter because you're in it. And that's going to be the best thing we got going. So thanks so much for being there with me every step of the way. We'll be in the car here soon, heading out of here, and it's going to be great. So thank you so much. To the team on the field, thanks for everything you do. Thanks for your sacrifice. Striker on.
So the reason why I really love this clip, and you could hear the emotion in that moment. Oftentimes as we go through this military lifestyle, it is not easy. It is challenging. And I can only imagine to get to that level of leadership, that couple had to endure some different challenges, right? And to look over at the end of a season, being extremely accomplished in your career and just be really grateful to still have your partner by your side. It just gives you all the feels, but it really makes me think about my own, right, marriage relationship. And even after honey does all the things, right, and however far he goes in his military career, I want to be invested in having moments like that at the end of each season, to where it's like, you know what, we did the things, we went to the places, but at the end of all of that, at the end of this chapter, I'm still excited and grateful that I have you by my side, right? I don't want to, even in my own personal career, run after all these things, and at the end of it, not have my partner in crime, my spouse, here with me. And I think about couples and how that's not the case for everyone, right? And it really hurts that you can be so called to the mission, and sometimes the mission can get in the way of our relationships. And I am excited and encouraged to see the General Rays of the world just saying thank you to their spouse. Thank you for being there. Thank you for sticking this through with me. It was not easy, right? But thank you for being here at the end of this chapter. And oh, how exciting it is to go into the next chapter with you. And it is really encouraging to me, because that is what I want to see more of in this military community, right? That is what I would love to see, couples who are excited to go into the next chapter together. Because everybody doesn't have that story. And for those who don't, that's okay. But if I could make a difference in a couple of relationships, right? If this podcast can make a difference in relationships, then it's worth cracking this mic. It's worth scheduling the time and preparing for these things, and emailing and working alongside Military OneSource and advocating through Military Marriage Day and all the exciting things that are to come for 2022. We'll talk about that another time. But it's worth it, right? Because I truly believe that when our military marriages are strengthened, our families are stronger, our community is stronger, and thus we are able to go out and do the mission that our armed forces calls us to do with greater strength. It is something that we may never see the fruit of all the things that we do here, right? But I would love to just hear more people get to the end of that military journey excited to be with their partner, not afraid of, now I got to figure out how to do life with you, but knowing that they were thriving in their relationship. And this is just another exciting part that they get to do together, that they feel more in tune with each other at the end of that chapter, that they are excited to go after the things that they maybe had to put on pause now, that they're ready to cheer on their partner together. So I just want to give a huge thank you to General Ray for having that moment. It was really big. They are an amazing leadership team, and I hope that they are enjoying their retirement. But as we wrap up this marriage and leadership series, I want you to think about that end goal. What does it look like at the end of your military journey? And by all means, even though you take the uniform off, you are still a part of this community, right? But when you are no longer actively day in and day out going and doing the things, how do you want to feel about your spouse? How do you want to feel about your marriage relationship? Think about and get a picture in your mind of what riding out in the sunset looks like for you. And let's start planning and being intentional and building towards feeling that way. And it takes you taking action first, and then the feelings will follow. So I hope that you have enjoyed this marriage and leadership series. Again, I hope that this is just the first installation and we have a second one. So if you happen to be in leadership for my Navy, my Coast Guard, my Army, hey, you are welcome right here on Hearts and Stripes podcast. We would love to have you. So before I let you go, I just want to do our favorite part here on Hearts and Stripes podcast, and that is our heart tracks. So you can listen to the full playlist of our heart tracks, which are nice little reminders of what we've discussed, and some love songs and some encouraging things right there on Spotify. It's Heart Tracks 3 on Spotify, but you could just check the show notes and see the link so that you can be jamming to our playlist of songs that are reminders from past episodes. For today, I need to lean in a little bit before I share what this heart track is, because I am talking to you out there, especially my ladies. I know I have a lot of military spouses and service women who listen to Hearts and Stripes podcast. First of all, thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being intentional about your service relationship. And thank you for being here as I try to pour into you, because I believe we have to show up first before we can show up for ourselves first before we can show up for our relationships. And this is definitely for you, and it ties in this leadership and marriage series beautifully, because the heart track for today is Mary J. Blige, Doubt. So first of all, shout out to Mary. She is actually going to be performing during the Super Bowl, so that's really cool. But also, I really like this song because if you listen to the lyrics of the song, she talks about how she's made it to the end. She didn't give up, but she has to stop doubting herself. And I wanted to pick this to wrap up this marriage and leadership series because, one, you may have heard me say throughout the series that you are a leader. Maybe you're doubting yourself in that area, but let me just encourage you with Mary J. Blige to say that you truly are a leader right where you are, in your home, in your community, wherever you are a leader, and you are someone of value in your community. You don't realize the influence that you have. And I would just encourage you to play Mary's track and stop doubting yourself, right? I also love how this song talks about getting to that end of the road, like we talked about General Ray and how they made it together. And maybe that seems like a stretch for you. Maybe you don't see that maybe in your military marriage relationship. Well, let me just say that I hope that this song encourages you to stop doubting the possibilities that can happen in your military marriage. It just takes one step at a time, right? And she, in her song, talks about how she sacrificed a lot, how she lost a lot of things along the way. And we have to maybe lose that pride. We maybe need to lose our selfishness. Maybe we need to lose talking more and transition to listening more, right? Like Mrs. Raymond talked about in the last episode. I hope that this song, Doubt, really encourages you, whether it's specific to you in your leadership or you in your marriage. And enjoy this one. You can find it again on our Spotify playlist, Heart Tracks 3, and today's Heart Tracks, Mary J. Blige, Doubt. I hope it encourages you, and I hope that you enjoy the entire playlist that we have on Spotify. So that is it for this episode of Hearts and Stripes podcast. Stay tuned, because next week we will actually have the lovely ladies that will be hosting our military date night right here on Hearts and Stripes podcast. You're not going to want to miss it. So until then, I'll see you soon. Thank you for tuning in. Remember to rate, subscribe, and review. This is Hearts and Stripes. We are the few, the proud, that aim high and are forged by love. Always ready, always there. We are Mill Marriage Strong.